I wanted to get on here and talk about patience. I want to encourage everyone to be patient. If you've been on the receiving end of manipulation and the kind of abuse that leaves you in a state of delusion and bewilderment, then this takes time. This takes time to process. During these times when we are going through these sorts of things as empaths specifically, this usually kicks off a whole other process of our own awakening. It's a cascade effect. There's something about having our reality so messed with, so manipulated, that causes us to assess the whole thing, whether we want to or not, just to be able to understand what's happening to us and to be able to extricate ourselves and make the judgment calls we need to make to be able to both protect ourselves and be sure that we're acting ethically and morally. Because as you know, as empaths, it's not easy for us to just go against our values. We're not the type to just think up what we want or what our gain is and then just steamroller over other people. We take a lot of things into consideration before we act. We're sensitive to other people's feelings and to the outcomes of our actions and the potentials. So when we go through something as distressing for us as manipulation by a variety of toxic types, various types of people with mental and spiritual disorders, let's say, just as a general term, we are forced to assess to such a degree that it causes another crack, it causes another break in the programming that we've been living within and under and at the mercy of. I'm sure many of you have had numerous relationships throughout your life with family, friends, intimate partners. And what you'll find when you're dealing with these particular toxic types who use deception and inversion and mimicry, people that gaslight you, people that breadcrumb you, it's a whole different game, completely different game. Normally, if you have a relationship, it's not working out. It's a very predictable and normal kind of situation. Maybe there's some aggression or some domestic violence. Maybe it's just a difference in opinions and morals. These are all more normal things that we've all experienced in relationships. And when it goes downhill, it's easy enough, within a varying degree, but it's a relationship. It didn't work out. We go our separate ways, and that's the end of that. But this is different. This is not like that. So if you're trying to explain and express this to other people, they'll be looking at you like you're crazy. If you've been through this gaslighting, deception, illusion, having your reality flipped upside down as if it wasn't yours and it belonged to someone else, and they imposed their agenda and their insistent energy or lack thereof upon what was yours. How different that is to deal with than just a normal relationship stress or strain or breakup. It's not even, it shouldn't even be spoken about in those same terms. It's completely different, as you well know if you're listening to me. So in light of the gravity and significance of what you've experienced and the fact that usually it kickstarts a much bigger process, a much larger overhaul of your whole way of looking at your life and the world and the people in it and what everything means. There's really no way to explain it. If you know, you know. And the people going through it, they know. And it's unexpected. First of all, most of us didn't know that we were getting involved with people that were going to manipulate the F out of us. Then, when we realized eventually that that's what's happening, and that our energy is being siphoned, and that our life force is being drained from us, so that other people can further their agendas, then we try and separate ourselves, which is hard enough. Because it's not, as I said, it's not like a normal relationship. Everything is inverted. Everything follows the rules of a different game, one that we didn't agree to play, but one that they are playing to our detriment. So first, you don't know what you're getting into. Then you find yourself in it, don't know what's happening. Then you realize what's happening and you try and get yourself out of it. Then when you're getting yourself out of it, this opens up another thing that you weren't expecting, an awakening. I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm sure all of us are so grateful. What an honor it is to be awoken from our slumber. But boy is it a hard process. And you know, and you can understand why people would stay asleep. I mean, even for us, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in many, many layers. And sometimes you just feel like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this layer. Oh my God, another layer. But we get through it, right? This is what we're going through. A great adjustment, a great reassessment, a time of questioning everything we thought to be real and coming to terms with the fact that almost none of it is. Who we are in light of that, how our characters change. Every aspect of us is affected during this process. This is what I'm trying to convey. Our outlook on life, our assessment of our emotions, what they mean, our past and what it meant, what the future may hold. So much that we learn and re-categorize within our mental space. Because there are so many things where it's like, oh, I thought it was one way, but it's actually completely the opposite. So you have to go in, change that, and then replace it. And then all of this leads you to a point where you have to reassess your whole spiritual perspective. Of course, that's an ongoing thing, but it's part of the process. And doing all of this, it has a toll on our bodies. We need energy. We need sleep. Sometimes we need a lot more rest. Sometimes we can't rest. Sometimes our minds are going a million miles an hour. So I wanted to say, acknowledge the vast magnitude of the process that you're going through. Realize that you can get through this. I know that you have a lot of patience because you've spent your whole life giving people the benefit of the doubt, forgiving them and being patient with them. As an empath, you are extremely resilient, and this whole process is just making you even more resilient. But it's not something to be rushed. It takes time, and it's a long process, and we've been going through it for a while. And it gets exhausting, and I know it feels like, you want a break. Can this be over for a while, or can I get a break? This is how it feels, especially when it's really rough, especially when you're feeling a lot of the pain and the burden. But yeah, this is just a simple reminder. Do your best. You've got this. Be patient with yourself. You spent your whole life directing your beautiful, forgiving energy towards other people, being patient with them. Yeah, my challenge to you is turn that in on yourself. Now it's time for you to give that to yourself. Give yourself that same compassion, the same patience. Give yourself all the time you need, the way you would to any other person. Right? It's time for us to nourish ourselves, because this is when we need it. When we are rising up to this next level, when we're under the pump. So thank you for listening. I hope this helps. Be good to yourself. Be patient.